I'll check it out. Thank you guys. All right. Let's go into this game. herO versus Clem. Take note, chats. Take note, chat. Dare to succeed. All right. This is going to be an excellent one. Top left, Clem. Bottom right, herO. We have, one of the very best Terrans in the world against one of the very best Protoss in the world. I personally do not consider herO to be the best Protoss in the world right now. I'm actually giving that to Creator at this point. herO's still absolutely excellent, though. Still a tournament winning level player. Sorry, I'm still eating my drumstick. It's early game anyways. I see people being like, oh, well, I think it's MaxPax is the best Protoss in the world. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm not giving best Protoss in the world to someone who will never win a LAN tournament because they won't go to it. You can't do it. You can't do it. By far, there's like more stress on LAN. By far, LAN tournaments matter more than online tournaments. You just simply can't give best in the world to someone who doesn't go to LAN tournaments and win. All right, so Stargate opener here from herO. And yeah, well, Clem just kind of scouting around a little bit with that Reaper. Adept waiting for it to try to jump up. Some Hellions coming out onto the map with those Reapers. There are some fun moves you can do with these, even against a wall, like bouncing things out of the way and running in with the Hellions. All right, the double Reaper is going to go ahead and jump in. They actually preemptively drop that grenade, which they actually don't end up needing because herO is a little bit slow on the uptake there, but hits into the natural with the Hellion. So very good move here from Clem. Going to end up losing, well, the two Reapers, but the Hellion is still alive here, dealing some damage as well. 5 probes end up going down, so I think this was pretty solid. And we'll be able to get out of there without the Adepts touching him. Now, this is an Oracle into Phoenix play. And I assume that this is going to be like actual Phoenix play, like one Oracle into, 4, 5 Phoenixes with Colossus Tech in third base. I'd be surprised if it was something else because I don't see a reason to get the Phoenix otherwise. A little bit annoying there, but does escape. If the old Cyclone would have gotten him. All right, my drumstick is done. We can actually do some casting now. Sorry about that. It was just so delicious and melting. So, all right, third base going to be going up here for herO. Let's see. Yeah, he's still making Phoenixes, but he adds a couple gateways. We don't see Colossus tech as of yet, which is much more normal. Now, let's see what he warps in out of these 2 gates he just made. If he makes Adepts, I'm going to be pretty surprised. Because he made the additional gates purposefully. He's not using them yet. That could be because he's massively supply blocked. 62 is 62. Twilight coming up. Forge as well. Dude, if he goes Phoenix Adept, I'm going to lose it. It's probably going to be Charge. Honestly, the charge Phoenix never really materialized as a super strong build. Not even when Zest was around, he was exactly the type of person who would make that build good, and he really tried. And I mean, occasionally you'll see it, right? We're seeing it here. He's getting the +1 armor, which I definitely like over the +1 attack here. He's getting the charge, but this build in general, I'm not a fan of. I haven't seen any great success of it. You need your opponent to attack at a certain time, because if they hit critical mass, like, first off, you can't really attack them, because if they just make buildings that are in the way, your army can't do anything. And if they attack you with too small an army, you simply surround it and destroy it. But you know, if they wait for critical mass, you kind of dry up against it, and it's hard to hit your splash exactly right, because when you go for this, you have to like maximize your production of oh god, that wasn't very good. You have to maximize your production of your zealots, but if you don't get into splash damage before your opponent hits critical mass and attacks you, you just die. So yeah, anyways, it's, again, not a huge fan of the build, but right now he's keeping Clem quite far back. We don't actually have that many units. Some High Templars being warped in. All right, a lot of pylons coming up. Feels like hero's macro has not really been on point so far. All right, Stasis Ward going to slow down little chunks of this, so that's kind of nice. Phoenix is continuing to try to harass here. Okay, he's going to get some mines, and those are like pretty solid kills. Phoenix is not going to be ready for stopping any drops, so unfortunately. So 3 medevacs going to the main base. Yeah, I'm not super digging hero's play this game. Does feel like Clem is just kind of outdoing him. And, well, the Phoenixes come back just in the nick of time to be able to pick off a couple of these medevacs. Should be able to get 2 at least. Oh my god, he doesn't even get it. All right, decent amount of charge lots coming up, and that's a lot of Marauders in there. Some Marauders just don't do quite as well. Yeah, he's chasing him awfully far. Oh god, oh god. Oh, that's a good move. It didn't quite work out. So he was trying to drag the mine hits on top of that army because everything was super, super low from how long it was stimming and kiting. Did not quite work. Like, Clem just barely held everything correctly there. A lot more charge lots coming in here for hero. It's going pretty hard right now. Has that +2 armor on the way, which is kind of funny. I love that. Loads up the 3 SCVs that were down there. Going to fly them into the main. So +2 armor going to be finishing up. That's going to be a nice little boost to his Zealot-based army. The splash damage is not ready. It looks like he's going to get into double robo here. Will he go Colossi? I'm not entirely sure that he has time for that, really. Nice catch with these Phoenixes, so still doing their job somewhat. Temple Archives coming up as well. I do wonder if he's going to try to get Colossi out instead of Disruptors. Ooh. Okay, well, only 3. It could have been worse. Could have been worse. Target. Could have been much worse there. All right, so flying in, he's going to be able to deal with that. Using those Phoenixes to chase down the medevac as well. So we'll be able to clear that all out without taking any more damage. Oh, God. F2 is amazing. GSL champions F2ing and leaving mines in their main since 2010. All right, that is a lot of Zealots in there. Is this the right critical mass here for Clem? It's actually pretty darn scary. That is a huge group of Marauders. And he is going to just give up this Nexus. I think you can see pretty clearly the problem that this Charge Lot Phoenix composition has, right? As you get an army that looks like this from Clem, suddenly your army, you're like, well, you know, there's so many Zealots that it's like if they all were attacking at the same time, the volume of units that they are attacking to all be attacking at the same time is so large that they're going to evaporate. So anyways, he's trying to get into that splash damage, right? We have some Archons, we have some Colossi have come out. He's adding in Disruptors now as well. So, you know, hero's trying to kind of recover this game. Definitely has felt like a better game for Clem so far. Not that Clem has gotten, like, insane stuff done, but he kind of, like, weathered the storm of everything that hero was trying. And you can see, like, without a question, Clem's army is better right now. This is, like, almost all the supplies in charge lots. So Clem getting ready for his 4th base right now. Floating that command center over. Hero, 3 Disruptor, 2 Colossi, 2 Archons, 30 Zealots. I almost feel like he should be sending off like a side group of Zealots, like 5 to 8 Zealots to the side to try some harassment. Because like 30 in your main army is just, dude, it's just so hard to get them all to actually attack. They're just going to run around outside of each other. See that? Like all these charge forward, they're having such a hard time. Now, the flank comes in here from Clem. That split absolutely beautiful against the Disruptor. Ooh, sick hit. So right now, 4 base versus 4 base. Another couple robos coming up. So we're going up to 4 robo for hero. Now, I am a big fan of that play. We saw Classic utilizing that a lot in Saudi Arabia. And, you know, I think it's a great, like, evolution of Protoss versus Terran. He's actually getting some reasonable hits. This counterattack from Clem doing a lot of damage, but hero with so many charge lots in here, Clem is actually having a hard time. Does end up picking off this Nexus, so that's a solid kill. He needed that, I think, to still really be in a decent position in this game. A lot of Disruptors over here to deal with. So many charge lots. I think he's actually having a hard time getting the surface area he needs for repair. Okay, doesn't quite micro those Disruptor balls, but it looks like he just barely repairs out of this. 0 minerals left for Clem, so he used up his entire bank there repairing that planetary, but does end up saving it. 4 Disruptors now coming out at a time. Don't forget, Disruptors now cost 4 supply, not 3. So that's pretty significant when you're seeing 4 Robo Disruptor being pumped. Right? So it's going to be like 7 of his supply didn't exist a month ago, you know? Oh, actually pretty decent hit right there. You know, charge lot Disruptor, not necessarily the best comp. You got to be careful controlling that. Might end up blowing up more of your own Zealots than your opponent's units. Of course, for zoning, always amazing like that. Yeah, not getting that much. Ooh, that's a good one. 2 Marauders. Only single Zealot charges forward here. Still 4 base versus 4 base. Similar worker counts. Clem, of course, having a bit better time with his mining due to mules. Great kiting there from Clem. Throws down an EMP. Good dodge on the disruptor. He's getting to the edge of his base, though. You got to be careful that you're going to have a harder time dodging at this point. More and more disruptor balls coming out. Is herO going to have enough here to finish Clem off? Oh, seems like Clem has just enough here to push him back. Loses 13 of his SCVs. Not the end of the world. And in fact, coming in, oh, just barely gets that disruptor. SCV's fighting there for a moment as well. Oh my God, 6 snipe right there. Walks into some mines. herO losing a huge amount of the value in his army during this retreat. Maybe just overstaying slightly there. You can see the scans going down. He's trying to assess the situation, seeing no Nexi in either location. Going to be very, very happy about that. Knowing that maximum 5 base right now. Excuse me. Now, some Colossi being added back in. You know, you have 4 Robos. You can go Disruptor and Colossi at the same time. Clem going to be losing that while it's building. Ah! I don't think I've ever seen that. A building die while it had an add-on building. All right, gonna punish some of these stalkers pretty quickly. Little charge lock group to the side. Gonna push those SCVs back for a moment. Good pull away. This is a planetary up here, so you want to not send them in there. Quite an excellent game here. Really a fun one. herO taking another base right now. Clearing some of these rocks. Putting up a bigger path here. Not sure why he wanted that cleared, honestly. I'm trying to think of scenarios where that's going to be really helpful to him, and I'm not coming up with a lot because he's expanding towards the bottom left. So I feel like you're actually zoning more in this area. That might allow a quicker attack path for Clem. Okay, multiple immortals being made. This is something that's kind of exciting. We've definitely seen a resurgence of immortal use with the new patch. Immortals did get a bit of a buff. Okay, a flanking army coming up right now. He is going to blanket everything with EMPs. Okay, that disruptor ball hitting absolutely nothing. Second one coming in, grabbing a couple Marauders. Some good EMPs go down. Great targeting there from Clem. Really taking minimal damage right now from these disruptors. Amazingly done. A great stim and spread as well. Not that many units left here for herO. He's going to have a hard time as these mines go back also. And herO going to lose his entire army. GG is called, and Clem going to take game 1. Protoss looking weak as ever. Hey, you must be from fucking Reddit.
Okay, it's Childish Gambino. Ah! Homegirl, drop it like the NASDAQ. Ah! Move, white girls, like there's coke up my ass crack. Ah! Move, black girls, cause man, fuck it, I'll do either. Ah! pussy. Yeah, I love bitches, dude. I should be running Peter in Adidas.
Did you say in Adidas? Thanks. We'll pause the donuts as we go into this game. Yeah, I saw a few people being like, damn, man, PvT is so hard. That's not what you just saw. I'll explain it as we get into this game. Here we go. Getting into game number 2. Damn. It's a quick one. All right, so guess we got to remake that, whatever. For the people complaining or saying whether it's joking or not, like, oh man, yeah, Protoss, PvT's been hard like this forever. I talked about it throughout the game. hero's strat. That's not a very good strategy. He went for charge Phoenix. That's never been a good strategy. Never. It's hard to get your splash out in time. You could see he was having a hard time getting a 5th base up because he just doesn't have the right unit composition. So he was going for a set of units where if Clem attacked at the wrong time, herO could win very easily. But if Clem identifies what's going on, it's a hard game for herO. This was all of herO's own doing. Whether Protoss is better or weaker than Terran, that has no bearing on this game. This game was a choice by herO to do a strategy that is not actually that good, a strategy that does not scale well, and Clem played quite well against it. Honestly, I thought that herO did a pretty good job that game considering the opener. Yeah, it doesn't work against the best Terrans, and it shouldn't work against the best Terrans. It's just not a very good comp. All right, let's get into the game. Yeah, but to be honest, herO made it to his late mid-game tech transition fine, so I'm not sure that the opening was the deciding factor. No, he gets into it a lot smoother. If he had 5 bases earlier, right, the whole game is going to look completely different. Okay, so this is like a weird thing that people oftentimes, they're like, well, no, the game was long, so the opening didn't count. And it's like, okay, guys, that's just not the case. The opening counts. What happened in the opening reverberates throughout the game. So, like, just because the game went long doesn't mean you didn't fuck it up at minute 5, right? Like, if you lose 10 probes at minute 5, and then it's this long, epic game, and you barely lose, you can't be like, well, you didn't lose because of the 5 probes or the 10 probes or whatever. It's like, well, dude, actually, that reverberated. That made everything else slower, right? So it's not the case. Absolutely, the opening had a lot to do with it. So is someone okay? I know you're trolling, but that's why when Toss goes Nexus first, but the game lasts 30 minutes, you still lost because of the Nexus first. Yes, very oftentimes. Yes, very oftentimes, because the opener got you into a 3rd base quicker and a 4th base quicker and all your tech quicker, and it throughout the game. The whole game is different because of that. Jesus, I know this is not rocket science. It's just, this is how dumb StarCraft fans are. Holy shit. Okay, let's see what's happening in this game. So command center up on the high ground here for Clem. Probe doing some decent harass. Nexus, of course, already on the way for herO back at home. Cybernetic score going to be finishing up. All right, Reaper right now. Ooh, that's a cool crab. Oh, the probe gets in. A little mistake there from Clem, I would say. I don't think you want to let that in. Like, if you let it in, you kill it 100%. But I feel like, well, I mean, I guess now you know there's nothing on the map. Or you're pretty sure there's nothing on the map, at least. But, no, I don't know. I don't feel like I'd want that to come in and get a full look at what I'm doing here. Anyways, starport on the way. Continued harass. Ooh, so close right there. If this was a StarCraft 1 probe, it'd have 3 kills right now. Clem would have already GG'd. All right, so the Reaper hops up, does have to get out of there as well. Phoenix on the way. We'll see if he wants to go. You know, as soon as you see Phoenix, it's generally going to be 5 Phoenixes or more. It's super rare to have just like 1. There used to be builds where it was just 3 Phoenixes. I haven't seen one of those in years and years and years. It really does seem like 5 is kind of a magic number right around there. Not less than 5. Like 5 is good, 6 is good, 7 is good. But then if you start going above that as well, it gets kind of wild. But Robo this time. So this is what we would consider a good opening. Okay, this is an opening that will scale well into the late game. Okay, unlike the Charge Phoenix opening that we saw in the first game. Here, if you're going Phoenix and you're utilizing that as your anti-drop, as your defense, and as the unit that kind of keeps your Colossi in the battle, makes it hard for your opponent to counter your Colossi, whether that's you picking up siege tanks, that's you forcing back Vikings, things like that, right? This is a composition that you know, when you're playing like this, if you're going to play somewhat defensively, like you're going to be able to get that 5th base up in most circumstances much quicker than what we saw in that previous game. So I think that's this is definitely going to change what the game looks like. This drop actually like doing pretty damn well considering. 7 probes here, considering he went Phoenix. You're happy with that. Because there are worlds in which that does very, very little. Now the Phoenix is going to chase these down. Going to go ahead, get this kill on the Cyclone. Going to get the kill on the other Cyclone as well. So Clem losing quite a few units here in the early game. But, you know, he got the 8 probes. And I believe what we heard there was a canceled Nexus as well. So 3rd base getting canceled. Right? 9 times 5 is 45 plus 100. No, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. Oh, that was his shield battery they killed. That's what happened. My bad. My bad. It showed it right there. Anyways. Because if you cancel buildings, the value shows up in that unit's lost tab, just FYI. That's why I was doing math. Anyways, comes in with a pretty strong attack here. And, ooh, lift it, yes! No! I love the idea of a Viking landing, then getting picked up to die in the sky still. Anyways, ends up losing some Adepts and Phoenixes there. But I think that was a reasonable little exchange there for herO. I don't think he should be feeling too bad about that. Now, Phoenix being reproduced. Again, you don't want to have just 3. You definitely want to get a slightly bigger number than that. Colossi is on the way. Look at this, diving on the Viking. I like the idea. He doesn't get it, though. Reducing that Viking count is going to be nice. Because one of the counters... well, this is an older counter you don't see as much nowadays, but you can see... like 2 starport reactored Vikings to just overwhelm the Phoenix Colossus. That's an older counter. Again, we don't see that too often nowadays. But you definitely can still. So reducing that Viking count is definitely a legitimate move. Now here flying in. Yeah, just kind of checking what's what. Checking again. What do you have? What's it look like? Clem's sitting back. You know, Clem, here's the thing about Clem. He can only be harassed right now, right? He doesn't have to worry about any attacks. If it's Phoenix Colossus, it takes a while for that composition to have a true attack timing where you're like, okay, this can move across the map and maybe deal some damage. Early on, it is purely defensive. It's based around, you know, very expensive units in very small amounts. So... you got to be careful with it. You got to play defensive with it. This is about as good as you can do, is harass a little bit with the Phoenixes. Honestly, I do think that you should leave, like, a few grabs on your Phoenixes. Occasionally, I see, like, all the lifts being used, and that never feels right. Okay, overcharge going down, but not going to help too much because he's targeting that down specifically. Now, gets rid of it, and then targeting down what he can. He gets rid of 2 Phoenixes there as well. counterattacking up into this third base location. So a very good attack there from Clem. Now, just for the record, this is the type of attack he would have wanted to see in that first game, right? But Clem has identified what's going on. He knows his Colossus base. He makes the army go up to defend his drop and then hits here. So he ends up getting rid of that Nexus. The 3 Colossi, I think, will be able to just barely grind through everything here. I'm surprised he's actually moving forward once again. Yeah, I guess he knows that it's pretty low on health right now. That was actually really excellent now that I'm seeing what he got done there. I did not think that that would look like that. But he does a great job, and Clem loses quite a few more units, but herO obviously in a very tough spot now. Love that little crab, dude. Crabs are the peak of evolution. So, Clem getting his third base up. herO's going to retake his. You know, Clem definitely was playing very aggressively there. So, the third base is pretty late compared to a lot of other builds that we would see. Yeah, I got to be careful about that. You don't want to lose all these Phoenixes quite yet. Kind of a funny walkout here. I think he's just going up to eliminate the mine. Yeah. He wants those mines so badly. All right, he gets them. There you go. The Phoenixes were spotting in front there. Oof. Well, not looking super hot there for herO. The Phoenix is mostly gone. He starts another Phoenix. Honestly, I don't think that's even a good play. I think spending money on Phoenixes at this point is pointless. I think you have to start making disruptors and kind of cross your fingers here. The Viking count is pretty darn high. I think Clem has a very decent shot of just walking across the map and ending this game right now. Yeah, he's not going to have enough anti-air here. Damn, dude, look at that. Oh my god, so much damage put down. Loses one already, the other lots of damage as well. The overcharge itself having a hard time helping enough. And Clem just gonna start to bludgeon him now. Psystorm is just barely not ready. Probe's getting pulled. Some Stalkers are out here to deal some damage to those Vikings. There's a little bit of a counterattack, which is nice. Unfortunately, no more shield battery energy here for that Immortal. And I think that's going to be game. Like, this is so much damage that's been dealt to herO. I guess this little charge lock group is like, it's doing a little bit. But if you look at the actual numbers of this game, the army of herO is so bad at this point. It is so weak. He just hasn't been able to keep his key units alive. And now Clem coming home, he can heal up, he can repair up a little bit. His army supply, massively superior. His economy, very superior. His upgrades are better. His overall tech is very good. It's not that the tech is bad here for herO. He does have Psystorm now. But I believe he lost all his High Templars. I just saw him warp one in. All right, here comes the attack from Clem. He actually did not repair his Vikings. So there is a world in which like a good solid Psystorm or some well-placed Stalkers can knock those out. Now this is a very nice move. 3 medevacs going to the main base. You have to take it very seriously. And he's setting up for an attack on the third base at the same time, right? So as this army comes up, third base, he'll start to move towards it. But it's not that strong a push at the third base. So herO might actually end up holding everything. Oh, I wish that storm was just slightly forward. He could have gotten a lot there. The Vikings still pretty low. You know, we have some ghosts in this army now, so the High Templar is going to have a little bit of a hard time getting their spells off. Okay, that's a good storm. Good solid storm. Ugh, mine very excellent. Does a lot of damage to those remaining zealots. Good EMPs going down here as well. Clem trying to go for the kill. Overcharge comes out. Can't save that Colossi, unfortunately. Loses that building as well. GG's called, and Clem is going to win 2-0. All right. Oh, we only measure how good a storm is by how many kills it gets? Is that right? Okay, cool. Let me write that down.